you know. Okay. So I was talking about what a part in which Hamlet was talking about what was talking that those are, let me say, appearances, and they don't really show the genuine sadness.
السر بالأكت 1 scene 2.
Act 1 scene 2. Okay, you are Fatima.
Talking with his mother.
Your name? Yes, very good.
Adra.
Adra. Very good, Adra. Yes. See, madam, I know not see.
Line Queen Hamlet address leave you the cloud.
Very good. Yes. So what can we notice about Hamlet? Hamlet in that part, he was not let me say interested in those things. He's saying that these are just appearance. This is just appearance. This doesn't show me the real, let me say, the genuine sadness. Now we have something else, that he's looking at the actors and he laments the fact that he is not able to show the same thing. Okay. So this shows something it tells us something about Hamlet, about his character. Okay. Then we go to this part. I'll have the players. Let me find this. I'll have these players play something like the murder of. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'll have the players play something like the murder of my father. Before mine uncle, I'll observe his looks. I'll tend him to the quick. If I do blench, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen, maybe the devil. This is a total change in in Hamlet's idea. This is a change in his idea from total adherence to what is said by the ghost to complete opposition, to stand against what is said by the ghost, or at least showing his doubt. He's showing his doubt. And the devil that the spirit has seen maybe the devil, and the devil has power. It assumes a pleasing shape, yeah, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. So this is what actually, and now Hamlet is having a totally different point of view about what is said by the ghost. From a character who is really in line with what is said by the ghost to one who is doubting now, who is raising questions, who questions what is said by the ghost, and who wants to say that maybe that was the devil, and because of my melancholy, because of my situation, I have been controlled by that devil. So this is the point. Now Hamlet is having a totally different idea. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The player is the thing, wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. So now, this is the point. Now I am going to what? I'm going to use those players in order to what? In order to catch the conscience of the king. Okay, so this is a new development in Hamlet's character. When we go to Act 3, Scene 1, we have the king, the queen, Polonius, Ophelia, Rosegras, Guildenstern, and some lords. Now the king is asking Rosegras and Guildenstern in order to what? Tell me about the development with Hamlet. You were supposed to go to Hamlet and to start talking with Hamlet about his situation, about his melancholy, and of course you can what? You have to tell me something about this, any development. Have you done something with Hamlet? And look at this line. And can you, by no drift of conference, get from him why he puts on this confusion, grating so harshly all his days of quiet, with turbulent and dangerous lunacy? So he's describing, the king is describing Hamlet's madness as being as being dangerous and turbulent. He does confess, look at this. He does confess he feels himself distracted, but from what cause? By no means speak. I mean, he doesn't mention, and this is strange, because he tried actually. Yes, he didn't say it very frankly, he didn't say it very openly, but if you remember the part before what a piece of work is a man, he tried to talk about the meaninglessness of life, the fact that life is meaningless. Maybe those actors, Rosegras and Guildenstern, they are not smart enough to understand the meaning of what is said by Hamlet. But he said it. I mean, yes, he didn't say it in a clear way, but it was said. Then they refer to what? The crafty madness. Crafty madness. Nor do we find him for word to be sounded, but with a crafty madness keeps aloof. When we would bring him on to some confession of his true state. The idea of a crafty madness, if you remember, can go with what is said by Polonius in the fishmonger scene. The crafty madness can go with the ideas raised by Polonius, for example, madness, yet there is method in it, the sentences are pregnant with meaning. I mean, they can go with that idea, with that point. And the queen is asking, did he receive you well, most like a gentleman? And then he's telling them, Rosegras, if you, let me see, where is the screen? Okay. Telling them about the players. Madame, it so fell out that certain players We overwrought on the way. All this we told him, and there did see in him a kind of joy. To hear of it, they are here about the court, and as I think they have already ordered this night to play before him. Polinius is most true, but he beseeched me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter. So the Hamlet invited the king and the queen to see the performance of the play. With all my heart, it doth much content me to hear him so inclined. The king is also quite pleased, quite happy to know about this development in Hamlet's character, the fact that he is willing to go to the play, to the performance, in order to see the positive development in Hamlet's character. But this is a dramatic irony. This is a dramatic irony, because what is meant by dramatic irony? What is meant by dramatic irony? What is a dramatic irony? What is a dramatic irony? What is a dramatic irony? Students, are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, what is a dramatic irony?
I think when we have a contrast between two actions.
The dramatic irony is when the audience knows something the character doesn't know. This is the point. When the characters or the audience knows something that the character doesn't know. So now, what is the thing that we know as spectators or audience that the king doesn't know?
I think the king doesn't know about the play, what happened, about the plan. I mean,
yes, exactly.
But we know, the audience know about this plan.
The king doesn't know that Hamlet is having a plan, that Hamlet knows about the death of his father, that Hamlet is having the play in order to what? In order to see the king's reaction. All these things are what are not actually known for the king. So this is a dramatic irony. Okay. We shall, my lord, exit Rosicrucian and Guildenstern and continue reading. Now, you remember Polinius suggested before that he is supposed to what? He is supposed to use Ophelia in order to what? In order to see or to test his theory that Hamlet is mad because of what? Because of love. You remember that part?
Yes.
In which he said that Ophelia is going to be used. I lose my daughter to him. That was the line. So now it is time to start this. For we have closely said for Hamlet hither that he, as it were by accident, may here affront Ophelia. So he is going to confront Ophelia. He will meet Ophelia, and the father and Claudius will be what? Will observe. Will observe as lawful spies. They want to give themselves the permission or the point that they can spy. Okay, will so bestow ourselves that seeing unseen we may of their encounter frankly judge, so that we are going to hide behind the curtain or behind an arras in order to see what? To see the reality of this theory, that if Hamlet is really in what? In mad because of love or not. And of course, the fact that the father is working as a spy is something odd, something new, something strange. We don't expect, of course, from what? We don't expect from a father. Then the queen will go. I shall obey you, and for your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of harmless wildness. And this is, of course, this is a wonderful chance for the queen. If what? If it is what? If it is, let me say, seen or noticed that Hamlet is really mad because of what? Because of Ophelia's love. Because this gives the indication or gives the impression that the queen has nothing to do with his melancholy. I mean, the marriage, most importantly, the marriage is not what? Has nothing to do with Hamlet's what? With Hamlet's melancholy. And I want to remind you that we are not supposed to say that the queen has nothing to do, because we have clues, we have ideas, we have points about this character. I mean, leave her to heaven and to those thorns that breaks and stings her. This might give the impression that she is what, in a way or another, involved. Yes, her involvement is not clear, but she has a role. Maybe it will take time to show that role. And Ophelia, walk you here, Gracia, so please you, we will bestow ourselves. Ophelia, read on this book. Ophelia will be alone. So in order to what? In order to give the impression that, her loneliness is what? It's not that strange. He is giving her a book. We are off to blame in this. It's too much proved that with devotion's visage and pious action we do sugar over the devil himself. Sometimes we use what? We use religion to what? To cover certain activities or terrible activities in our life. Sometimes religion is used to what? Is used for a specific purpose, is used for specific ideas, which is not true, which is not accurate. That's why with devotion's visage we do sugar the devil himself. Imagine we so many things in the play. For example, let me draw your attention to what is said by the king in Act 1, Scene 2, when he was trying to give the impression that Hamlet is what? That Hamlet is not a man of religion. That what is done or what is being done by Hamlet is against heaven. He was trying to use religion for what? For personal purposes, let me say. Now, the king is listening. The king is listening. Oh, it's too true. How smart a lash that speech that give my conscience. This is the first time we are listening to Claudius trying to express his hidden feelings or hidden ideas. This is the first line. We witness Claudius talking about a sin, a mistake, burden. So now Hamlet, the harvest cheek beautied with blustering art is not more ugly to the thing that helps it than is my deed to my most painted word. Oh, heavy burden. You cover your deed. You cover your activities. Terrible. You are doing terrible activities, but you are using what wonderful words, sweet words, in order to cover those activities. Okay. The same thing has been done by what has been done by the king. And then I hear him coming, let us withdraw, my lord. They will hide, and Hamlet will come. Hamlet will come. And of course, this is what we are going to have, to be or not to be. This is a very important line, a philosophical line. To be or not to be, that is the question. So it can be philosophical. We can take it on a personal level about Hamlet himself, about man in general, and it has also been used by in the past by people or by students in universities. They used to use lines or phrases, philosophical phrases or lines, in order to talk about them. And to be or not to be used to be one of those lines. Whether it's nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against sea of troubles and by opposing end them. So you have choice in this life. Either to accept life as it is, this is the point, accept the problems in this life, or stand against them. And it depends on your what? It depends on your character. It depends on your abilities. It depends on the things that you are willing to do. To die, to sleep, no more. What comes after? Hamlet is trying to what? To say that there is a relation between death and sleep, or death is a form of sleep. A very long sleep. To die, to sleep, no more. And by sleep, to say we end. The heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that the flesh is higher to. It's a consummation devotedly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. There is the rub. If death is similar to sleep we have dreams. So what sort of dreams do we have? For that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, when we leave the body. So the point is, we don't know what comes after what. We don't know what comes after death. When your soul leaves the body, the mortal coil, we don't know what comes after death. This is Hamlet's point of view. This must give us pause. This obliges us to what? To think, to consider the situation. There is the respect that makes calamity of so long life. Whips and scorns of time, presses wrong, proud must contemplate, pangs of despise love. We accept everything in this life. Accept everything in this life. Because simply we don't know what comes after what comes after death. But that the dread something after death, the undiscovered country from whose born no traveler returns, puzzles the world. If you are willing to commit suicide, you are going to hesitate. You are going to be hesitant. You are going to be reluctant. You don't want to do it because this is because you are going to the undiscovered country, unknown country. Makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Accept life as it is. Don't commit suicide. Don't do anything. And simply because you are going to what? You are going to a different place which you know nothing about. Does conscience, look at this, does make cowards of us all. If you use your conscience, if you think a lot, you are going to be what? You are going to be a coward. It is a very philosophical part. Now Ophelia will come. Ophelia will come. And Ophelia is coming. She's greeting him, and she brought him the gifts. She brought him what? She brought him the gifts. My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have long to redeliver. I pray you, now receive them. She brought him the gifts. Of course, this proves that they were in love, right? That Hamlet and Ophelia were in love. She gives him those gifts or those tickets. No, not I never gave you aught. Hamlet is not telling her that I gave you nothing. Does he really saying the truth that he gave her nothing, or no, he gave her, but maybe he wants to say that we are not lovers anymore. So they belong to what? To Hamlet the lover. So they don't belong to me, the one who is no more in love. Or, after all, this is what, those gifts are not of value, they are not important. That's why he's saying that they don't belong, or I haven't given you anything. You know, my lord, very well. Look at this. You know right well you did, and with them words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich. Their perfume lost, take this again, for to the noble mind, rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. This is a very profound line. Who wants to comment on this line said by Ophelia?
Yes, sir. It is very important lines when she said that take them back. Nice gifts lose their value when the givers turn out not to be so nice. That's very, very nice.
And the fact that the gift doesn't have its value in the sense of what? In the sense of the, let me say, the materialistic value. No. The value is something else. The value is something else. I mean, the words associated with the gift are also they add value to the gifts. They add value to the gifts. And the fact that if the person or the lover is not nice, of course, this will give the impression that the point is what that this is it's not important. No need to have this gift. So he's asking now Ophelia. About we have speech about honesty and beauty. Honesty and beauty.
Sir,
Yes.
can we stop here? We are tired.
You are tired. Very
sir.
good. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said, if you may, of course.
Of course, yeah. Okay. You are group B, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Most welcome. We are going to continue, inshallah, next week. Okay? Thanks for coming to the lecture, and thanks for your comment and your participation.
Many thanks.